Okay, so I think I've got the fuel pump and everything how I like it and how it needs to be. I've actually gone back to the original type of fuel pump with the return line, which is plumbed in. The main line obviously plumbed in, and then I've come out and gone to some more modern AN style fittings into a filter for it, and it runs all the way up straight into the fuel make it happener carburetor. So it should be okay. I've checked everything, it's pretty tight, but once I go to do the first few starts, I'll start looking really closely for any leaks, but I think we'll be right. I've gone with this sort of braided system, especially at the top end here, because the amount of heat off these engines. A lot of guys have been saying that they just get melted fuel lines really easy, and you start a fire on one of these, and being fiberglass, pretty much the thing just goes up like plastic and just melts around you. So yeah, really don't want that happening. Also, it looks pretty cool. I managed to get the filter, so I've used a aluminium canister type filter instead of just like a plastic see-through filter, which was what was in there before. I didn't want that on there because, again, it's plastic. They often rub or get very close to parts of the car that are hot, and if that leaks, again, fuel splitting everywhere equals fire, equals really unhappy me. And we know we've had not so much as an outright fire, but we've had a bit of a melt in this engine somewhere in its life in the past. Some of the electrical over in that far corner there, some of the wires had sort of had a bit of a meltdown. So it can happen pretty easily. So this should be fairly secure. And that's the fuel part. So now we're just got to keep working through some of the little electrical issues. So I'm doing that. At the same time, I'm part of the way through removing the diff. I'm actually at the final stage of removing the diff. We'll just go around here. I'm at the final stage. Everything is unbolted. The jack is there just in case it decides to fall off during the night, but it's all unbolted. It is now just wedged through the press fitting and with those rubber bushes there, and they're just sort of tacky, sort of held themselves in. So I've got to use like a pry bar. I'm actually thinking a pry bar or maybe a ball joint fork jammed in there. I've tapped it a few times and it kind of moves, but I'm thinking maybe use the pneumatic system, just use the air hammer, air chisel type thing with it, just to try and get it to drop. Online, that's pretty much what most people seem to do to get it to drop, but I'm going to have another quick look and make sure I've not missed anything obvious, that there's no bolt holding it anywhere. But I'm pretty sure it's off and it's all ready to come down. It was good to see when I got down here too. It's got a aftermarket fiberglass monospring instead of the traditional leaf spring units that they come out with. So yeah, at some point someone's spent a bit of money on a few things here. These fiberglass monospring things are a few bucks, especially here in Australia anyway. To get one for the Corvette and shipped over, you're probably not going to get much change out of $1,500, maybe $2,000, depending on the spring rate and where you get it from. So anyway, I'm going to try and get this diff out because I've got a diff service kit for it. So I've got new bearings, seals. It's mainly the seals I'm after. Drain it properly, give it, clean it out, put new seals in it, put some fresh diff oil in it, and get it back in there. It's not really been giving me any dramas, but yeah, I've got everything else apart. I've ended up stripping nearly everything else down, so I thought while I'm under doing other stuff, I might as well do that. And the main reason I pulled it off was these bushings. Focus. These bushings were, that one's not too bad. Yeah, here. Yeah, it's not going to focus with But yeah, they were becoming poo, and thought while I'm at it, I might as well rip them off too. And so yeah, I was getting a bit tired of getting the diff out with no luck, and I've found that yeah, when things get a bit frustrating like that and I'm not getting anywhere, I'm better off just wander off and do something else. So I finished the fuel system. Now that's been going on for too long, 6 months probably at various stages. I'm just fiddling around working out how much of the original stuff I want to use. I basically bought a full fuel line set up for the original setup, which was all the metal line. So I've got all that sitting here that I'm probably not going to use. So I've got quite a bit of stuff that will end up going back on eBay, I think. Just yeah, it just didn't work out that way. It's hard to know till you're in here which way you're going to go with it. And I've changed my mind on it several times, but it's done. So radiator support frame is in, the bottom shroud is in. This enables me to mount through here, and here the lugs to hold the bottom of the shroud. This is ready for the radiator. So the power steering unit, at the moment it's just floating there. I can start bolting that in. Alternator will come in. Yeah, start building that up again. Get all the hoses in for the cooling system. Heater hoses can come right this that way. Heater hose can go in. Got a brand new washer bottle unit that can go in. I really didn't bother ordering these, but the more I look at them, the more they're starting to annoy me. Like they're just worn out. So I might grab some new ones of these. And it looks like they're just stapled through. So I've got a pneumatic staple gun, so I could probably just staple in the new one. So yeah, get that. I've got new hinges sitting around. I've got new latch unit with strut that I haven't bolted in yet. So yeah, there's a few things to be done. So hopefully we can start making a bit of progress again. Okay, till next time. Enjoy it.